Thank you too. Take 2-5.
Chris Coreil, Jacob Hubbs. Those are my guests. Welcome to Raph's rotation of random musicians. That was a whole lot of fun. That was a little Nick Payton song called Three. Um, Guys, welcome to my house. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us, man.
For sure. Oh, should I say anything? Is this good? Word. Anyways, it feels really good to play music again with people. Like it's been a minute since we've all played together.
Yeah.
No, since this like whole pandemic thing has started, and run its course, how have y'all been as musicians and as people? Like, have you been passing?
Tough, man.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like on the car ride over here, even we were just talking about the what it how this has affected musicians everywhere. I mean, everybody, of course, but like specifically people who rely on a venue to play to make money. It's been brutal. Not just financially, but like mentally and like everything. It's just hard to. I remember some people talk about this a little bit, but like I'm watching movies now is weird because I'm like, yo, like why does nobody in this room have masks on?
Word.
You
Yeah.
know, like I'm seeing people like in a crowded subway and stuff, and I'm like, it's impossible to imagine that now. Honestly, it's weird to think about it, and it's also weird to think that like I don't know. I feel like whenever you've gone so far into something, it's hard to imagine things as they were before sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's totally how it is for me right now. It's like it's impossible to imagine it how it was before, and it was like so great before, and so we had this wonderful about 100 years of non-pandemic, and now we're back in it, and it sucks.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel the movie thing. Like I especially like I both feel like I'm living vicariously through the movie when I'm watching it in that it's like a normal world, but also like it there is a certain amount of like what on earth is going on.
Right.
But yeah, no, you talked about how it's been a struggle both financially and as like people, and it's really been forcing musicians to take a look at themselves as people and not just as these musicians and artists. Like Chris, you and I talked a little bit about this earlier, but like it's it's definitely making people look at themselves a lot differently. And I mean along with that, the financial side of things um has like we haven't worked since March consistently, right? Like
Yeah.
what kind of stuff have y'all been doing on that side of things, if anything?
To
Like,
make money.
well, like yeah, as musicians to like keep performing and that kind of thing, like keep making music with
Man,
people.
I mean, I've had like we have a really nice spot that is allows for music to be played. So we have people over at our house. Like we have a friend who's a drummer who lives with us like for just a week, and that's great. We get to play with him. We do a live stream with Willie Green every Friday, and that's great.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with people a little bit still, but it's just not the same. Like the other day, I had like a gig. I've had like a few gigs recently because it's the Christmas season, and certain people want Christmas songs to be played,
For sure.
and like it's weird to play 3-hour gigs again
Yeah.
because I'm like 2 hours in, I'm like, damn, this is a lot, like a long time to play music. Right. And like back in the day, before times, like 4 years ago, I had a Sullivan's gig and we would play like 6 hours every Wednesday at this fucking steakhouse, And like now to play 3 hours straight of music, it just feels like, whoa, this is so long and exhausting. Like, when's it gonna be over type thing? But like that used to be the norm, not too long ago, 7 months ago.
No, and like when you're playing these gigs and like being in rooms with people again, like what kind of vibes have y'all been getting at gigs? Because I've only played like one thing really since this all started, and it was this wedding. And the vibe was so strange. Like I was the only one that showed up with a mask, and I just like stayed away from everyone, and like everyone was just acting like it was normal though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like, especially in the South, I feel like, especially certain areas, like some of the smaller towns in Louisiana, it's some people are acting like this doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like I know certain parts of Louisiana that my friends are from where it's just like nobody cares. You know, New Orleans is a bigger city, and like, of course, there's more. Our mayor is like very adamant about this stuff to the point where it's killing the musicians. But yeah, like there are definitely some people in parts of Louisiana where it's like they don't even think this exists.
Yeah, no. Well, and on the topic of New Orleans musicians, one of the organizations that we are donating to tonight is the Music and Culture Coalition of New Orleans. Their information's down there. You can either go to their website directly and donate to them, or if you donate to us, 30% of our donations will be split between MACNO and the New Orleans Safety and Freedom Fund. The Safety and Freedom Fund is basically a bail fund. They go through and I don't know, they just bail out a bunch of people. It's really cool. In a system that values cash over human lives. Cash is a really good weapon. So use that and redistribute your wealth. We're going to figure out what we're going to play and then play it for you.
We can. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to?
Okay. I don't know. We could do It Could Happen to You.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's do that.
All right. I'm gonna sing that one.
Where do you want to put it?
Right here. Hide your heart from sight, lock your dreams at night. It could happen to you. Don't count stars or you might stumble. Oh, someone drops a sigh and down you tumble. Keep an eye on spring, run when church bells ring. It could happen to you. All I ever did was wonder how your arms would be. Oh, and it happened to me. aside. Lock your dreams at night. Oh, it could happen to you. Don't count stars or you might stumble. Someone drops a sigh and down you tumble. Hide your heart from sight. And it's spring, 'cause the church bells ring, and it could happen to you. All I ever did was wonder how your arms would be. Oh, and it happened. Oh, it happened. Oh, let me tell you about how it happened. Oh, it happened quickly. Oh, oh, and it could happen to you. All right. Jacob Hubbs, Chris Coreil. Tip the band, please. Right there. We got Venmo, Cash App. I think we got PayPal on there. Maybe no. We got Venmo and Cash App. Yeah. If you want the PayPal, you can find us on Instagram. Let's do another tune. Okay. Got one you want to put the melody on?
What about Darn That Dream?
Yes, sir. That's Chris Coreil on the keys. Man, you played that so pretty. I love the way you play. It's so nice to be with y'all. I keep saying it, but like, it's true. Um, so since we're not able to like play and stuff regularly, and we have the need to fill our time, what other than movies, like what have y'all been up to?
A lot of Duck Game.
Duck Game.
Shout out to Duck Game. It deserves more notoriety. You can ask anybody in this room that's played it. I see. Yeah. See Ben Dietch over there.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest games ever made. Please get online. Play me. I will destroy you.
Chris.
Yeah, they need more players for sure.
Yeah, like we like, you know, for a long time we only had one controller, so we could only play online, and there was nobody online. So if you want to play Duck Game, like DM me, please. I would love to play you in Duck Game. It's sorry, I went off on a little tangent there, but I really like that game. You asked, so.
Well, Chris, do you care to explain what Duck Game is?
Yeah, so you're a duck in the game, and you can fight against a maximum of 3 other ducks, so 4 ducks total, and you have about like 20 different maps, and on the maps spawn different kinds of things like hand grenades and machine guns and AKs and pistols and magnums and mines and all these different kinds of things, and you try to kill the other duck with your abilities and stuff like that, and you know. It's good. It helps me get out my aggression through duckness.
For sure. Jacob, what have you been doing? It seems like Chris was slightly more passionate about Duck Game than you were.
He can't beat me.
Oh.
He's the best duck in this room for sure. I don't ducks. He's crazy good at that game.
I don't know. Yeah, just like, you know, watching movies. I mean, we just finished school, so that was keeping me pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're out of that. Like, I've been sleeping a lot more.
Word. Yeah, no. Speaking of school, how you all both went to school during this COVID madness?
Yeah.
What was y'all's like takeaways from that? What was y'all's experiences like? I guess we had a very similar experience, being that we were roommates last year. But
Right.
like, yeah, Chris, what was it like at LSU?
It was trash. It's just like I was a senior, you know, and I think that any musician who goes to college understands that you're building your entire college career to this pinnacle that's supposed to be the pinnacle of like this is what I've done with my time here, which is your senior recital. That's what it's supposed to be. And I didn't get my senior recital. I had to record 7 videos of me playing solo piano and send it to my professor, and that was my senior recital. That was dog shit. LSU, I want my senior recital. It's terrible. It's a travesty. So that sucked. Beyond that, it was easy. You could get away with a lot on your exams.
Word.
And you could
hypothetically, of course. Yeah,
hypothetically, you could.
We would never do this.
You could never do this, but hypothetically, you could, you know, make things a little easier for yourself. But yeah, it was pretty terrible, I would say.
Word. So at like Jacob and I go to Loyola in New Orleans, and in our classes we had like a mix of like what they call like high flex, which was like half online, half in person, but when you go, it's all like it's really weird. Because there's like half the classes on a Zoom call and half the classes in the room, so you're hearing all these people like talking on Zoom like over the speakers in the room, and then rehearsals for band were kind of crazy. Like I don't know what they were like for the rhythm section, but we had to, like with this whole setup, like the COVID cover on the bell plus a HIPAA filter and then a mask with a hole in it, and trumpet players had like puppy training pads that we had to empty our spit valves onto. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Y'all were able to like kind of play though, right?
Yeah, ours we were just chilling with masks on basically. I mean, in a combo, you're not like more than 6 feet. You're always pretty much more than 6 feet away from each other, so that didn't really change too much. But yeah, I never had any of those classes where I had people over Zoom while I was in there.
Word.
That never happened to me. It was either just in person or online, and most of them are more online, obviously. But yeah, that sounds weird.
Yeah, it was quite strange. We got a friend in the house. His name is Freddie Banker, and we would love if he would join us up here. Oh hey. Hey, Freddie.
Hey, I didn't know y'all would be here.
Just in the neighborhood, you know.
Yeah.
What a nice stroll. All right, we're gonna figure out what we're gonna play, and then we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
You got it? Yeah. The charger. Yeah, the switch charger.
That's Freddie Banker on guitar, Chris Coreil on keys, Jacob Hubbs on bass. I'm Raph. I'm over here. It's been a while since Freddie and I have played together, man. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, this man's been all over the place. What's
been avoiding COVID at all its worst points because I was in New York City and I heard that it was getting like really bad in LA, but it wasn't bad in New York yet. And then I actually went to LA right when everything shut down in New York, right when everything shut down pretty much in the whole country. And then from LA, I was like, well, I'm not going back to New York, so I just went back to Massachusetts until like just to my parents' house for a little bit. So I kind of avoided New York, and I was out of New York for a while, and then I went back to New York for like maybe like a month, and that was not really that much fun. I mean, it was okay, but because I could be outside, but then it started to get cold, and then all this, heard all about this like new lockdowns in New York, and now I'm here for that.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been like avoiding the worst of it, but no, I mean, I'm really glad to be back in the city, and yeah, like, I mean, it's a little chilly today, but nothing like the whatever foot they got of snow in New York today.
For
So,
sure. No, I'm glad you're back in town, man.
yeah.
Dude. So, wait. You were in New York at first, and that was pre any lockdown?
Yeah.
Okay,
mhm.
and then you were in LA.
I was in New York, and I think I remember the day that I left New York, I looked to buy hand sanitizer,
Mhm.
and I could not find any
Yeah.
anywhere. And that was like, oh,
Yeah.
this thing is real.
For
Like,
sure.
that was the moment. Yeah.
No, dude, what has been like the most like striking difference to you in how each of these cities have been handling the coronavirus and whatnot?
Well, New York is different, simply because regardless of how anybody's attitude towards it is, uh, it's just impossible to socially distance there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just impossible. I mean, so you kind of have to like put your mask on right when you walk out the door to your apartment, but like when you go out there, it's like you got people in the elevator. Like the sidewalks are literally not big enough to allow for social distancing. Like, and none of the spaces, like clubs, I mean jazz clubs especially, are tiny, but like none of the spaces, restaurants, like anything like that, uh, has enough room for anybody to socially distance. So like
Word.
nothing's outside. I mean nothing's inside, and like, so it's just kind of, it was a different vibe, because yeah, like there's not a lot people could really do.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can stay in your apartment for sure, but like, I mean, there was a lot of people in the parks, I guess, but it's just a different world up there just because of how like condensed everybody is.
Word. How
So,
how would you say that contrasts to California?
well, I didn't really spend very much time in California. I was only there for like a week, maybe. Like, uh, but I mean, California is different, obviously, because like there's a lot of room to go outside and walk around. It was, I think that in California, their issue is kind of like, was like the beaches was kind of the challenge,
Yeah.
Like even when the lockdown happened, there was still tons of people on the beaches, and they had to actually, yeah, they had to like pretty like forcibly close the beaches, and they closed the hikes, which is crazy, so you
Yeah.
couldn't even go on like hikes in LA. So I guess that's like the biggest difference. It's like there's so much to do outside in LA, so like
Yeah.
that was sort of, I don't know, but in any case, there was some nice stuff going on in New York, like over the summer, like outdoor jams and whatnot.
For sure.
But not anymore. Now with the snow. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, so yeah, I spent some time on the West Coast during this pandemic before coming down here. Like I was in Washington, and like you said, like the hikes, like that was one of the few things that people could really do, but it took a while before they were allowed to do it like legally. And I mean, overall, I think the West Coast has been pretty good about like following the like distance and stuff or whatever. But the other side of things with that is that there's no programs to help out, like to help people stay home, like on a widespread level. Currently, just yesterday, in Seattle, there was this a plan for this homeless sweep in one of the biggest parks, and it we're in a pandemic. We have so many people that are newly houseless, that are not getting any help. Like I read today, it's what a one-time $600 stimulus check we're looking at coming up, something like that. Is that right? Yeah. And Mitch McConnell was all of a sudden just like we need stimulus, we need it now or whatever, and we've needed it for 8 months, and a one-time $600 payment just like. Oh, absolutely, yeah. My producer Ben just said we have to look at other countries and how they're doing, and like, so I have here the stats. England got paid 80% of their worker salary over the pandemic. Denmark got paid 75%. South Korea got paid 70%, and the Netherlands got paid 90% of their worker salaries. Like, we're seeing that it can be done in other countries. Like, why can't it be done here? Like, does not make any sense. If we want to be doing, if we want the economy to do well, we have to have money circulating, and we're in a position right now where all of these rich elites and the airplane companies got to bail out. Like, we don't need to be flying right now. We need to be helping each other out. Like, it's really something. Yeah, man, it's really unfortunate, but I don't know. Macno is doing stuff for New Orleans, and yeah, support them so they can support the community and support the community directly. Yeah, people got live streams, people got albums, people got Bandcamp. Buy those kinds of things. These guys, you got a Newspeak record that you're on. Yeah, I don't know what y'all got. Oh yeah, you got a whole ass record, right?
I'll be dropping a record I'm gonna be dropping a record sometime in the next year here. Please be on lookout for Chris Coreil or Christopher Coreil. Haven't decided what I'm gonna release it under. But These Are My Friends is gonna be the name of the record. Yeah, please be on the lookout for that.
Man, I'm so excited. Like, those arrangements you were showing me were so cool.
Thank you, man.
Right.
I put a lot of work into it. It's one of those things where, like, this is my first time recording anything really for myself. But actually, I do have something you can check out. Me and my friend came out with a Christmas song about 2 years ago called, I forgot what it's called, but it's under the name Con Man Chris on Bandcamp. Con Man Chris. Check it out. It's not about Jesus at all.
But shout out Jesus if that's what you're about. We're gonna get into another little one, and we're gonna do What Is This Thing Called Love? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna sing it too. What is this thing called love? This funny thing called love. Just who can solve this mystery? Why should it make a fool of me? I saw you that wonderful day. You took my heart, threw it away. I asked myself and the Lord in heaven above, what is this thing called love? this funny thing called love. Just who can solve this mystery? Why should it make a fool of me? I saw you there, what a wonderful day. You took my heart and threw it away. Just who can solve this mystery? What is this thing called love? What is this thing called love? Chris Coreil on keys, Freddie Banker on guitar, bass goat to my right, Jacob Hubbs. Gotta find something real quick. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Christian Bold. Happy birthday. Want to give a quick shout out to Jackson Coutinho. Happy birthday. I really hope y'all are watching. If not, we'll figure out how to get this to you. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Christian is an incredible singer. He man, like yeah. Check him out. He spells his name Christien. But he was like one of the first people that really was like, you're in New Orleans now. These are the people you got to check out. These are the like people you should know about. These are the gigs you should be going to like learn the tunes from. Like, these are the people that know what's going on. And I'm forever appreciative of that. Like, all of us are not from here, and I'm sure we all have figures like that. Like, what have y'all's experience been like as not New Orleans natives living in New Orleans playing music?
I haven't lived in New Orleans pre-pandemic. You know, like I've only lived in New Orleans during the pandemic, so I can't really speak to that. But I lived in Baton Rouge my entire life, and that's only an hour and a half away. And like all through college, I was over here like 3 or 4 times a week. You know, just driving around trying to see as many people as possible. I think that one of my mentors who is not from New Orleans is Doug Stone. And he came here recently just to move here from Chicago. And one of the big things he was saying is the difference between this city and other cities is like the amount of teaching there is going on here in the tradition. You know, like I feel like a lot of other cities, it's not really about helping the younger kids who are just trying to figure it out. It's mostly about just getting your gig and keeping your gig, and taking other people's gigs. And it is about that here too, but there's definitely a spirit of giving when it comes to the knowledge in this area. And like I have so many people to thank for any amount of knowledge that I have. Like, you know, Jason Weaver and Willie Green, those are 2 people that really took me under their wing and allowed me to play in their bands, even though sometimes I was in way over my head, you know, and they really allowed me to mess up and not sound good and, you know, talk to me about the music and just in a very kind way that showed me more things than I could have ever hoped to know without them.
Yeah, no, it really is true. Like, you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that if you ask them a question, they're not just gonna like give you the answer to it or help you to that answer. Like, there's been so many different trumpet players that I've been like just blessed to have met and to have taken lessons from, to just hang out with down here, and just I don't know, every single one of them has been so genuine, and it's always about like they want to make sure that you are understanding what they're telling you, and they're really willing to let you listen, or let you listen to what they have to say and to listen to the questions that you have about it. Yeah. Jacob, how do you feel? Yeah, just about being a musician in New Orleans now.
Yeah, I mean, like him, I'm from Baton Rouge, so all throughout high school I wasn't here too much. But since he was in college, he could come down here a lot. I was in high school down there, so I couldn't really come over here. So yeah, I started college with you over at Loyola, and I mean, I think it's been great. Before Corona happened, we were going to a lot of shows and seeing a lot of people. Everyone's been super nice. Especially all the bass players I've met have been super cool. And like you said, like they've taught me a lot of things, and they'll just like tell you what you need to know if you ask them. Like they're really nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll tell you even if you don't ask them.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it's been great so far. I mean, I wish we could get out of quarantine.
Yeah.
Or gig quarantine at this point. Like it seems like everything's going back
for
except
real.
for gigs.
No. Yeah, no, Ben was telling me about his friend that he has in Liverpool that has just been like gigging all the time now.
Right.
And it's just like I look at that and I'm like, ah.
I know everywhere else, like people are back to normal already.
Yeah. No.
Hopefully soon though.
Like one of the biggest draws, at least for me, about moving here was the fact that like I could both be in school and learning like whatever academia says we have to know, but then also be in New Orleans and have these masters right there playing shows, telling us what's going on, giving master classes and stuff like that. Like it really is so valuable, and there's very few cities that you can have that kind of experience in. Freddie, having graduated and been other places playing music, how do you compare your experience here to there in the time you've had?
Well, I sort of graduated into pandemic job market, but before that, I mean, I spent the summer like in New York, and I think New Orleans it's unique in that I think that the community here is like very strong, and I think like, I mean, I know that's like a corny thing to say, but in comparison to New York, there is a lot of community in New York, but it's very, it's sort of a bit more segregated, and there's so many people. So, it's a bit cliquey, but I think more than that, there's just so many players there that it's, that people don't really know, like, if you come to a session, people don't really know what you're about exactly, and if you like it's just that there are all these different groups, which I guess you could say that's cliquey, but the communities are more separated, it feels like, and it's a bit, and like you don't, like, people from one community don't really know other people, like, for instance, like the like the players that play at like Smoke and Smalls, they don't have any idea about the trad scene in New York, and and vice versa, and like it's a little bit more segregated. And I think in New Orleans there's like a musician, like kind of like more of a core musician community, and New York is also just like, like the session people and the the recording people. It's all like lots of different groups, which obviously has benefits, because if you want to do a specific thing, it's like you can, like, there's a spot for you there.
Yeah, so up there it's more niche, whereas down here it's more people playing everything.
Yeah, and I think that's like, yeah, it's a bit warmer,
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I really like that idea of musicians playing everything. Like that is really a big draw about being down here. And a big thing that allows the music to kind of flow through time and always have, I don't know, some kind of, I don't know, it makes me almost feel nostalgic listening to, like, say an Erykah Badu record, because you can hear the influence all the way down through the music that a lot of people call jazz. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna go into another tune real quick. And while we're on that, tip the band. We got Macno helping out for speaking of community outreach and community happening in New Orleans, they're helping musicians in New Orleans. Help them, please. Let's do that one. I fall in love.
Yeah. No, but I fall in love. I fall in love too.
Oh, I fall in love too. My bad. Whatever you want.
You got it. You can start.
I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too fast. I fall in love too terribly hard for love to ever last. Well, my heart should be well schooled, for I've been fooled in the past, and still I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too fast. fall in love too terribly hard. For love to ever last. Oh, for my heart should be well schooled. For I've been fooled in the past, and still I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too
Yeah, Chris. That's Chris Coreil on the vocals. Freddie Banker on guitar, sitting in with us. Jacob Hubbs on bass. I'm Raph. I just wanted to take a quick moment to elaborate on that last point I was trying to make. Because I was trying to condense it in like a short amount of time, but now I'm gonna like elaborate on it. One of the things that has been taught to me since I've been down here has been this idea that the music that we play is a continuum, and that it's constantly evolving, and that people like say people play trad music in town, but they don't always solo in that trad style. Like there's so many trumpet players in this town that I look up to, like I don't know, Wendell Brunius, Leroy Jones. They each play very traditional New Orleans songs, but the language they're playing over it is so it's a mix of blues and a mix of bebop and a mix of trad style playing, but it's this all-encompassing thing that makes them sound very unique. And the term jazz is problematic because the original Dixieland Jazz Band was the first ever recorded jazz group, and the reason they were recorded and not black music is because white people wanted to claim it, and white people made up the name jazz. And a lot of people in our community look at people like Miles Davis and Charles Mingus, who have come out and said things saying that the way they view the term jazz is very derogatory, and it's a very negative way. And I think it's important to bring up this discussion every time the music is played, because our heroes have voiced their opinions about it, and so many people currently are voicing their opinions about it, and it's on us to listen to them, to listen to those that are saying that they feel oppressed, because the only way to stop oppression is to listen to those that are feeling oppressed. You don't actively oppress another person all the time. Like so many people will be like, "Oh, I'm not a racist," but that you could still be doing racist things. You could still be perpetuating that kind of energy. So yeah, check yourself. Listen to what people have to say. Listen to those that are in positions, and have the perspective, like positions to reach out to you, and have the perspective and life experiences that are necessary to develop a well-rounded opinion on the matter. One more time, Chris Coreil on keys, Jacob Hubbs on bass, Freddie Banker on guitar. I'm Raph. Please tip the band. All that information's down there. 30% of proceeds will be split between MacNo and the New Orleans Safety and Freedom Fund. We're gonna play Cheorkee. That's what we're gonna play. Chris Coreil, Jacob Hubbs, Freddie Banker, Tip the Band. Money's going to MacNo and the New Orleans Safety and Freedom Fund. Thanks for joining us. Shout out Ben Dietch for doing production on all this. Shout out Evan Martin for doing sound on this. So awesome. Very thankful for y'all.